Hello students, today we'll start our first class on dynamics. So before we understand dynamics, let me recall you about what is statics. So we have classified what is mechanics. We know the definition that mechanics is study of response of the object when subjected to different kinds of force. So mechanics is divided into two parts, that is statics and dynamics. So far we have dealt with problems related to static, that is statics is study of response of the object or a body when it is at rest. Now we'll consider dynamics, that is dynamics is further classified into two parts, that is kinematics and kinetics. Now let us understand what is kinematics and kinetics. So kinematics, let me define, is study of motion of the bodies and its relationship with time considered without considering the force causing motion. Let me repeat, kinematics is study of motion of bodies and its relationship with time are considered without considering the force causing motion. So kinematics deals with study of displacement, velocity and acceleration. Coming on to next, kinetics. Kinetics, let me define, is study of motion of bodies and its relationship with time considering the force causing the motion. It basically deals with determining the force required to produce the motion. That's it. Means of determining the force required to produce the motion. Firstly, we'll understand in detail what is kinematics, then we'll move on to what is kinetics. So before we start with kinematics, let us go through some of the basic definitions. The first definition is displacement. So displacement is change in position of body with respect to time from arbitrary fixed point. That is, if an object is placed at point A and after application of some force it changes its position from point A to point B. This traversed point is what is termed as displacement. Right. Next definition, speed. Speed is rate of change of its position with time irrespective of its direction. So we define speed as speed is equal to distance upon time. Speed is equal to distance upon time. Speed is a scalar quantity. Speed is a scalar quantity. The unit of speed is meter per second, or is given as kilometer per hour. So I request all the students to please note down the things what are being scribbled on the screen so that it will be easy for you to remember. Okay, moving on to next, velocity. So velocity is defined as rate of change of displacement in specific direction. So velocity is thus a vector quantity. So here we have uniform velocity and non-uniform velocity. So uniform velocity is one where the body moves at a uniform rate in a definite direction. So when a body is said to be in uniform velocity, it means here the acceleration A is equal to 0. When I say the body is in uniform velocity, it means the acceleration A is equal to 0. So uniform velocity is defined as V is equal to S upon T. Similarly, non-uniform velocity is one where the body moves at a uniform rate in definite direction. Non-uniform velocity is one where body moves at a non-uniform rate in a definite direction. When I say the body is moving at a non-uniform rate, it means that the acceleration A is not equal to 0. Acceleration A is not equal to 0 and velocity V is given by ds upon dt. Given by V is equal to ds upon dt. Next definition is acceleration. Acceleration is rate of change of velocity with respect to time. So acceleration is denoted as A, which is equal to what? Change in velocity, that is dv upon time. So time is given by dt. So once I write acceleration A is equal to change in velocity divided by change in time. Moving on to next, deceleration or retardation. Deceleration or retardation is acceleration associated with decreasing velocity is termed as deceleration or retardation. So deceleration or retardation means it is a negative value of acceleration. It is a negative value of acceleration. Hope you have no doubts up till here. Moving on to next. So with respect to the discussed definitions and part of kinematics, we require some equations to solve the problems related to kinematics. So we have three equations of motions. Firstly, we will discuss the equation which is V is equal to U plus AT, where V stands for final velocity, U stands for initial velocity, and T stands for time lapsed. Next equation considering here, S is equal to UT plus half AT square, where S stands for distance traveled, U stands for initial velocity, T stands for time, A stands for acceleration, and again T stands for time. So one more equation we have, which is V square minus U square is equal to 2AS. So V is final velocity, U is initial velocity, A is acceleration, and S is distance. So these three equations we will be using for solving the problems. Now in kinematics we have to study rectilinear motion, So rectilinear motion is the body which is moving in a straight line or in a linear direction is what is termed as rectilinear motion. Right. Then we will study what is super elevation. We'll study rectilinear motion, we'll study what is super elevation. Then we'll study what is projectiles one by one. So firstly we'll take up what is rectilinear motion. So rectilinear motion is study of the response of the object when it is moving in the straight line. So I hope you have no problem up till here. If you have any problem with respect to the above content which has been discussed, you are free to ask in the group. Thank you.